Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing what if Deku had Polaris's powers. So Polaris is the daughter of Magneto, I believe. Yes, the daughter of Magneto, the second daughter. Basically, she has the same powers as him, except she can also not just have to manipulate she doesn't also just manipulate magnetic fields. She also can manipulate metallic objects, just normal metallic objects, as long as they're metallic. Whenever she does use her powers, a green kind of like this field appears around her hand. It's everywhere around her hand, though. It's just at some points in her hand where her power is strongest, grow or bigger and brighter, but it's everywhere in her hand, on her hand. So the same thing's gonna happen to Deku. It'll actually move around his hand too. You could actually physically see it moving. Some points when he's not even, when it's like, it'll be behind him, like where the strongest point is, where his power is. Basically, yeah. Can manipulate magnetic and metallic objects. Let's start. Deku was born into a world filled with quirks. He was lucky enough to be born with a quirk, a powerful quirk. When he was born, also, her hair, it makes them green, a green and black color, same with his eyes, same with her eyes, which makes Deku a perfect candidate for this, I guess. So, Midoriya was born into a world with quirks. He was born lucky enough to have a quirk. Deku first discovered his quirk when he accidentally dropped his spoon. Well, he doesn't eat spoons. I'll just say he was eating, no, that doesn't make sense, never mind. Because they eat with, chopsticks, never mind. Deku dropped one of his metal. No, they're all plastic. Ugh. Deku dropped a no. Shoot. Wait, what's the metallic? I'll just say, one day his mom was, he was 5 years old. No, 5, yes. And they were his mom was fixing something. She told Deku to pass her the screwdriver. When Deku was about to pass it, he dropped it. His hand, Deku was going to try and catch it before it hit the ground. But his hand started to suddenly like his fingers started to kind of glow with a light green. And the screwdriver stopped midair. Stopped before it hit the ground. Deku could see light, dark green, but faint dark green color moving around his hand. And there was some sort of light green color, big, moving around his hand too. Sometimes it would stop. And this Deku made the screwdriver lift into the air into his mother's hand. His mother was so excited. She put the screwdriver down and said, "We're going to the doctor's office." She said, okay. She said, "Get dressed. We're going." Deku went to his room and changed clothes. not change clothes. Got out of his pajamas, yes, change clothes, and put him in some casual clothes. He grabbed his All Might action figure and ran out of his room. He sprinted down the stairs without falling and ran to his mother. They started walking. They started going towards the doctor's office. When they got there, the doctor said, Midoriya has a quirk. It allows him to manipulate magnetic fields and metallic objects. What do you want to name it? And she said, I guess magnetokinesis. Yeah. No. Metal manipulation, I guess. No, magnetokinesis. Better. I'll stick with that. Deku went home. He couldn't wait to tell his friends tomorrow. Especially Bakugo, since he had discovered his quirk about a few days ago. When he got to school the next morning, don't come in here. When he got to school the next morning, oh my god, that thing is getting on my nerves. Wait, oh, whoops, that's what happened. Whoops. He sat down on a seat, super excited. About 30 minutes later, she called up everyone. Since it was time that they should have discovered their quirks already. Everyone showed off their quirks, even Bakugo. Bakugo was first. It was Midoriya's turn. Midoriya stuck out his hands as the green kind of field appeared around his hands. He looked at a metallic object and made his left hand face it. It lifted into the air and headed towards Midoriya before Midoriya made it stop. It stopped right there, and Midoriya caught the object. Everyone was impressed that Deku already had so much power. He couldn't wait to become a hero. Maybe he might become a hero, I don't know. Or a vigilante. Or a villain, I don't know. I do too many villain things. No. Polaris is a vigilante. So, sure, I guess, whatever. About 10 years later, Midoriya is in middle school with Bakugo. They are both the most powerful students at school. Both of them are rivals, but are still great friends. Bakugo's still got that, personality due to thinking he's the most powerful in the whole world. Which he is not, though. What was it? Sometimes they would spar. It would go either way. Midoriya would either win or Bakugo would win. They would have fun. A lot of fun. So one day, Midoriya's mom told him to stay home for today. He asked why. She didn't answer and just told him to stay. Midoriya said okay, and he went back to his room. Changed out of his school uniform. And yeah, was changed out of his school uniform. Changed out of his school uniform into some normal clothes. He went downstairs. There was his mom, sitting there on the couch, crying. He was gonna go over to ask why, before the door burst open. Oh no, this is doing like the same episode I had of like, oh no. And there were some people in masks. They looked at Midoriya and grabbed it. Midoriya tried using his quirk, but they injected him with something. Not to make him go to sleep, but to not allow him to use his quirk. His quirk started to get weaker and weaker until he could no longer use it. The green kind of magnetic field disappeared. Not really magnetic field, I guess magnetic field, yeah. Disappeared from his hand. One of the villains punched Midoriya in his face. That's when everything went black. Midoriya woke up in a chamber where there's people having exercise. They are constantly getting injected with stuff, making their power stronger, or he thinks. Well, for the next few years of Deku's life, he would be training here, as his mother had signed him up for no reason. She wanted her son to become number one. She knew that he had already mastered his power, and she knew he probably wouldn't be able to get any stronger. So she did this so that he could become stronger. A few years later, Midoriya now is 20 years old. Gosh, 5 years? He has a six-pack. His quirk is a lot stronger now. I'm ready to tell you. Well, it's still like this. No, I'm kidding. It's different. I'll show you. The field is bigger and stronger. I'll show you. Don't worry. The field... Shut up, fan. It now matches his hair color. There's some red in it. I think... Would you shut up? Stop! Hey. Sorry. So, there's some red in it. The field of it is a lot larger than normal. About twice its normal size. Which means Deku's quirk can now reach farther out. Maybe about 4 miles. It could usually only reach about 15 meters. And now it's also a lot stronger too. It can't just also just reach out. It can farther. It's now a lot stronger. Midoriya, and the only way to leave without them killing you. So, Midoriya was put into a challenge to face the strongest person there. Oh my god, stop. To face the strongest person. Then he could leave. Midoriya was like, okay. He had faced the other people. Since they lost, they had been killed. Which they didn't tell Midoriya's mom about that. 5 seconds into the battle, Midoriya's getting attacked. He's using his power. He doesn't know how to control it either, though. Because he just got that. It's basically kind of like an awakening. I guess. An awakening kind of power quirk. Like a quirk enhancer. Illegally, though. As Midoriya fought, he kept getting the upper hand. As the villain had some iron on his body. And Midoriya would use that to his advantage. Until he was able to defeat was able to defeat his opponent. Midoriya was allowed to leave. As of not telling them. Not telling anyone. He agreed and left. Midoriya started to walk home to where his mom, well, the last time he saw his mom was. When he arrived at his old home, there was a new family there. No. They lived in an apartment, right? Yeah, they lived in an apartment. There was no new family. It was his mom. She was sitting there. She had bags under her eyes, and her eyes were blackened out a bit. And there she was. She had her fist on her chin. She didn't hear him coming through the door. She had her fist on her chin. Yeah. Reading the newspaper. Sad. Who's that outside? Hold on. Back yet again. Midoriya walked up and he slammed his fist on the table. When she saw Midoriya, she got up and hugged him. Midoriya pushed her off, asking, "Why did you do it?" Midoriya made his right hand... Wait. Never mind. Left hand. Started to do this as the field started to move around. It's kind of like the weather patterns on the news. Yeah, kind of like the weather patterns. He held it up to his mom. He held it up and started to make his hand move. As the knives came, all the knives in the house came and floated behind Deku. Okay, let me change. He told her, "Tell me why you did it." She told him, "Because you had already mastered your quirk when you were younger. Well, 15. And I knew, well, probably knew that you wouldn't be able to get any stronger than you were right now. That's why I did that. You didn't know about what they put me through?" She said, "No, all I thought they were going to do was give you some sort of, make you train and give you injections to make your quirk stronger." And they did. His quirk was now 10 times as strong as it used to be. Didn't I say it's twice as... No. I'll make it 10 times as strong. He looked at her. This was now permanent, though. This kind of green-red thing is now permanent. Midoriya put the knives back and told her, "I'll never forgive you what you've done." That's when his mom grabbed a knife and slit her throat open. And slit her throat open. She slit her own throat open. Midoriya watched her as she bled out with a blank face and a blank stare, watching her die. He turned around and walked away. He left the door. He left the house. He used his power to set off the stove, which caused the entire apartment complex to explode. The entire complex exploded, killing everyone inside. He walked away. Midoriya walked into a store, kind of a big store that had clothes. He picked out some clothes. He found something. He found a black leather jacket that had spikes on the arms. It had spikes on the arms and spikes on the arms. And by, I guess, not really all the way on the arms, but where his forearms are. where his wrists are, with some gloves that has spikes on them. No, that's too Ghost Rider. Never mind. He just found a normal black leather jacket, black. He also found a black hoodie. Gosh, they all look black. And he put that on underneath the jacket and zipped up the leather jacket. He found some black tight jeans and put them on. He also put a belt on with them. A black belt. Gosh, this is just gonna be a whole black outfit. He left his socks on. He found some black boots. Kind of work boots, no. Work boots, black work boots. He tagged them up as he walked out the store. Also, not forgetting his... No, he didn't have that kind of stuff. He was like 15, never mind. The manager and some employees ran up to Deku as the alarm sounded. They said, "Hey, mister, stop." Midoriya put his right hand up as it started to have its field back, and it moved around a lot until the energy converted into like a little kind of big kind of circle sphere in the middle of his palm that covered up almost his entire palm, which caused the whole store to malfunction and caused the doors to close in on the store owner, crushing him to death. Midoriya put his hands below him as both of them started to glow with their field. He flew into the air using the Earth's magnetic field line to fly. And he flew into the city, walking around to free his mind. That's when... No. I'm not doing that kind of dumb stuff. Nope. Midoriya walked into the alley where he saw a door. Is that what it was? A two purple door? A double purple door, I think it was. That had the word bar above it. I think that's what it was. Midoriya walked through the door, opened the doors, and walked through. Okay. Ended off there. I like to use Google. Goodbye. See you sometime later.